just begin by taking a couple of deep breaths and getting settled. Noticing where your body meets the surface underneath you. And noticing all the ways in which you feel supported by the surface underneath you. And then beginning to notice your breath. Noticing where your breath goes as you breathe in and where your breath goes as you breathe out. And just becoming aware of all the ways in which your breath is like a bridge between your outer world and your inner world. And allowing yourself with each breath to draw a little more closely into your inner world. And into that place where everything that you've ever known or sensed or felt or imagined or dreamed or experienced is recorded. And as you come into this place, just allowing all of your inner senses to begin to open, your senses of sight and sound, smell, touch, taste, but especially allowing your sixth sense, that sense of just knowing, to begin to open quite widely now as you call in the presence of a guide who has only the highest good for you and for all beings as its sole intent. And knowing that this guide may appear to you in any number of ways or forms, perhaps as a mythic or angelic being, as an animal or a plant, as a light or a sound, or just as a feeling of a presence. Trusting all the impressions that you're receiving as you sense where this guide who has only the highest good for you and for all beings as its sole intent is located. Perhaps this guide is to your left or right, or maybe in front or behind you, or above or below you. And just knowing that this guide, your guide, is here to support you and to work with you in this meditation, and with the intention of holding the vision for a peaceful transfer of power and leadership, and for the healing of the collective karma that has threatened the democracy of America. And so now, with the support of your guide, just placing your awareness in your sixth chakra, your spiritual eye. And as you do, sense or feel or imagine that there's a staircase before you that leads into your heart. And so just allowing yourself now, as I count from 10 to 1, to begin to travel this staircase, knowing that when we reach 1, that you'll be at the door that leads into your heart. So now allowing yourself to 10, find your feet on the staircase, noticing what it's made of, what the stairs are made of. Perhaps they're made of marble or wood or metal or some other material. And 9, feeling your hand on something like a guardrail. 8, knowing that you have complete control over this process. 7, also knowing that you can actually begin to go quite deeply now. And 6, just allowing yourself now to let all of your inner senses to continue to open quite widely. 5, your senses of sight and sound and smell, taste and touch, but especially allowing that 6th sense, your intuitive sense, to open up all the way now. As you 4, trust all of the impressions that you're receiving. 3, as you approach the bottom of this staircase and focus now on a beautiful door in front of you. 2, that leads into your heart and into that place, perhaps in nature, where everything that you've ever known or sensed or felt or imagined or dreamed or experienced is recorded, and where you feel safe and comfortable and at peace. And 1, just allowing yourself now to step through the door that leads into your heart and into this place, perhaps in nature, where you feel safe and comfortable and at peace. And as you do, just allowing yourself now to take a deep breath and noticing the particular fragrance of this place. And allowing this smell to bring you into even deeper contact with this place, perhaps in nature, as you listen for any sounds and notice the quality of light of this place. And noticing if there's a breeze across your skin. Just allowing yourself to notice, perhaps for the first time in a long time, just how much this place is a part of you and how much you're a part of this place. And just take a moment to rest in that connection. And now sensing the presence of your guide who's with you on this journey, and allowing your guide to lead you towards another path. And it's a very inviting path that leads towards another door. And this door leads to the inside of your heart. And this is the place where you'll work together with your guide to restore the soul and the heart of America with wisdom, discernment, truth, integrity, and love, where you do the work to heal the deep-rooted karmic patterns of systemic racism, inequality, and abuse of power. And so I'm going to count now from 1 to 4, and as I do, just allowing yourself to know that when we reach 4, that you'll have reached the inside of your heart, this place where you're going to work with your guide to heal these karmic patterns that have bound America to hatred and divisiveness, and to manifest this nation's ideal of unity and equality for all women and men, regardless of race, color, creed, political affiliation, or social status. So just allowing yourself now to 1, follow your guide along a path, noticing what this path is made of, whether it's made of pebbles or sand or stone, or some other material, and 2, seeing another door in front of you and knowing that you have complete control over this entire experience. 3, as you allow your conscious mind to rest, and as you trust all of the impressions that you're now receiving as your guide opens this door. And 4, finding yourself now on the inside of your heart, where you're now going to work with your guide to heal the heart and soul of this nation. So just taking a moment, noticing how you feel in this space. What is the vibrational quality of this space in your heart? Notice the particular differences between the vibrational quality of this space and the space that you were just in. Feel the sacredness of this space, the holiness of this space. And just knowing that you're supported by your guide as you move into the next process. And as you listen closely to these instructions and this process and perform this process with intention and attention, knowing that you have the support and the love of your guide here with you right now. So just begin by bringing your tongue to the roof of your mouth and curling it back to a specific place on the hard palate just before the soft palate. And it may feel like a small bump on the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth. If you're unsure how to do this, just ask your guide for their help. And as you hold your tongue in this position, sense or feel or imagine that there's an energy channel opening up between your heart and your spiritual eye. And with your intention, connect your third eye, your sixth chakra, with your heart center. And if you're unsure how to do this, just ask your guide for their help. So now this energy channel between your heart and your third eye is activated. These two energy centers are connected. So now just sensing, feeling, or imagining that there's another energy channel. And this energy channel is between your heart and your solar plexus, between your fourth and your third chakras. And with your intention, connect these two energy centers, your heart center and your solar plexus. And if you're unsure how to do this, simply ask your guide to show you and trust any instructions that you're given. And now sense or feel or imagine that your heart is the energetic and spiritual center that holds in balance the power of the third chakra, your solar plexus, and the wisdom of the sixth chakra, the spiritual eye. And that the energies of these three centers is now flowing in an infinity circuit, a figure 8. Follow this infinity circuit from the spiritual eye, the top of the infinity circuit. The energy runs down the back of your spine, behind your heart. As it reaches your heart, it moves forward in front of your spine and down to your third chakra, where it once again moves backward towards your spine and begins to flow up now towards the heart center. As it reaches the heart center, it crosses once again forward and upward back to the spiritual eye. Sense the activation of this infinity circuit. And if you need help, simply ask your guide for instructions and trust that this process is working simply with your intention for it to work. And now that you've activated this infinity circuit, sense or feel or imagine a peaceful transfer of power between parties. Again, asking your guide for support if you need it. And remembering to use any or all of your inner senses to do this. Through images, through feelings, through thoughts, or even sounds. As you sense, feel, or imagine a peaceful transfer of power over the coming days and weeks and months. noticing particularly that power, when expressed in its highest and its holiest form, serves the good of the whole and not the few. Power, when expressed in its highest and its holiest form, is discerning and integrous. And power, in its highest and holiest form, is love in action. Now asking your guide to hold this vision of a peaceful transfer of power as you sense or feel or imagine now a peaceful transfer of leadership between parties in the coming days, weeks, and months. Again, asking your guide to help you or to guide you if you need it. Using all of your senses to do this through images, feelings, thoughts, sounds. And notice particularly that leadership in its highest and holiest form is wise and truthful. Notice that leadership in its highest and holiest form serves to unite all despite disagreements and differences. And that leadership in its highest and holiest form is love in action. Now asking your guide to bring these visions as peaceful offerings of love, light, and healing to the nation's leadership, knowing that these are seeds which will restore the heart and soul of America. sense, feel, and imagine that these visions, these peaceful offerings of love, light, and healing are being delivered to all of the nation's leadership. And now asking your guide to bring this same healing into every situation, time, or place in this lifetime or any other lifetime where Americans and the people who live or lived in America have suffered from racism, inequity, injustice of all forms, where the people of this country suffered at the hands of demonization, of lies, and abuse of power. And just allowing your guide to now bring light where there has been darkness and truth where there has been ignorance throughout the life and history of this nation and her people. And sense this healing rippling out across time and space, affecting the entire collective, clearing these karmic patterns that have thwarted the great experiment of democracy from flourishing into its fullest. And now sense or feel or imagine that this nation is being filled with light, the light of awareness, the light of consciousness, and that light is affecting every aspect of this nation, its governance and economics, its environment and educational systems, its healthcare systems, its public relations and media, its justice system, its spirituality, its businesses, its arts and science, and all the relationships that this nation holds both within and without her borders. All the infrastructures that support this nation are being filled with this light, the light of awareness and the heart and soul of all Americans, and of this nation is being healed. And now resting in the knowing that the healing is taking place, that the seeds have been planted. And I'm going to count now from 1 to 10. As you 1, begin to retrace your steps with your guide back out of this door to the inside of your heart and back towards the first door that leads towards the staircase 2, knowing that you've done good work today and that you're contributing to the healing of the heart and soul of this nation. And 3, just returning the same way that you came back up the staircase. 4, bringing with you a deep sense of peace and hope. And 5, saying thank you and goodbye to your guide in whatever way feels appropriate. 6, as you begin to feel the surface underneath you once again. 7, perhaps stretching a little bit. And 8, as you come back to closer to the surface. 9, whenever you're ready and taking all the time that you need to. 10, open your eyes and find yourself back in the room once again.